You know, for centuries, when you thought about Africa's riches, what probably came to mind were raw materials being shipped out, right? Diamonds, gold, cocoa. It was a story all about extraction. Well, that story is changing. A new one is being written right now. A story of creation, of design, and of ultimate luxury. Today, we're diving into this incredible transformation, a journey that's reshaping the entire world of luxury as we know it. And this quote from Grace Mumo, wow, it just perfectly captures everything we're talking about. This is the whole idea in a single sentence. It's not just a quote, it's a declaration that the continent is officially moving from being the world's mine to becoming the world's maker. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to explore what this new narrative really means. Then, we'll take a trip across the continent, region by region, to see the incredible, almost unbelievable monopolies Africa holds in the luxury world. And we'll wrap up with a big question that could redefine the future of global business. Let's get into it. Okay, so that brings us to our first big idea, this new narrative. Look, this isn't just about shuffling supply chains around, this is about reclaiming an identity. It's a full-blown cultural renaissance where the value is finally being added at the source, and the stories are being told by the people who actually own them. This slide really says it all, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the old way of thinking. Africa is just a supplier of raw materials. But on the right, that's the new reality. Africa as a luxury brand creator. It's the difference between just shipping out raw potential versus realizing that potential right there at home, building global brands and experiences that are truly, authentically African. All right, let's start our journey. First stop, North Africa. This region is this amazing strategic gateway between Africa, Europe, and the Middle East, where you see ancient craftsmanship just seamlessly meeting modern luxury. I mean, just look at this. You can feel the elegance of the region in its architecture, right? Morocco is a massive hub for tourism, fashion, and beauty. But beyond these absolutely stunning visuals, this country holds a staggering monopoly on one of the world's most luxurious ingredients. So, I'm just going to put a number up on the screen. 90%. Just think about that for a second. What could one single country possibly control 90% of in the entire world? The answer? Argan oil. You've probably heard of it. People call it liquid gold in the luxury skincare industry for a reason. And nearly all of it, a full 90%, comes from Morocco. We're not just talking about a major player here, we're talking about the undisputed source for one of beauty's most prized ingredients, period. Okay, from liquid gold, let's head over to West Africa, a region that is an absolute powerhouse in two things you might love: gastronomy and high fashion. All right, next big number for you, 60%. And this figure is behind a luxury good that pretty much every single person on the planet has enjoyed at some point. That's the world's cocoa, and the vast majority of it is produced by just two neighboring countries, Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana. Let that sink in for a second. The entire foundation of the global luxury chocolate industry, it rests right here. And this is what that shift we talked about actually looks like. You go from the raw commodity, the cocoa, which then gets transformed into a finished luxury product, amazing chocolate. But the story doesn't stop there. It expands into these other incredible forms of creation, like the vibrant art you see here. It's the full expression of culture and value, all in one place. Okay, so we've gone from the delicious to the digital. We now head to Central Africa, a region whose mineral wealth is absolutely essential to the technology that powers, well, pretty much everything in our 21st century lives. Here we go again, 70%. And yeah, this isn't just a majority, this is flat-out dominance in a resource the whole world needs. We're talking about the Democratic Republic of Congo's share of the world's cobalt. And if you're wondering why that matters, well, it's inside your high-end smartphone. It's the battery in that luxury electric car you've been eyeing. The technology of tomorrow's luxury is completely dependent on Central Africa today. Now look, you can't talk about this region's resources without acknowledging the really tough, complex history. But that's exactly why this shift is so huge. People are actively rewriting that story, moving from the tragic label of conflict mineral toward what we now call conscious luxury, with a massive push for ethical sourcing and total traceability. All right, for the final leg of our tour, we're heading to East and Southern Africa, which together holds some of the rarest, most exclusive treasures on the entire planet, both things you can experience and things you can hold. And when you think of luxury experiences, I mean, does it get any better than this? The safari isn't just a vacation. It's a massive, multi-billion-dollar industry that has literally become synonymous with East Africa. But beyond these unforgettable experiences, you find resources that are, well, they're one of a kind. Okay, get ready for this because these numbers are they're mind-boggling. Take Tanzanite, that mesmerizing blue gemstone. 100%. 100% of the world's known supply is found in one country, Tanzania. That's it. Then there's vanilla, the flavor of luxury. 80% of it comes from Madagascar. These aren't just market advantages, they're geological destiny. And we've got one last huge number for you coming out of the south, 70%. That's how much of the world's platinum comes from South Africa. Platinum. It's literally the cornerstone of the entire fine jewelry and luxury watch market. So what that means is, from an engagement ring to the intricate gears of a Swiss watch, the story for that precious metal begins right here. So we've taken this incredible journey, right? From north to south, from liquid gold to the rarest gems on Earth. And when you see all these numbers, these insane levels of dominance, it all boils down to one final, really important question. And this chessboard, it's the perfect way to think about it. For way too long, Africa was treated like a pawn on the world's economic stage. But that game is over. When you control this many critical pieces, you are not a pawn anymore. No way. You're the queen, and you are dictating the future of the game. And so we're going to leave you with this question. But it's not really a question for you or for me. It's for the gatekeepers of the global economy. To the Fortune 500 CEOs, to the investors at Davos, the question is clear. Are you going to remain an extractor, just clinging to that old model of taking raw materials? Or will you be a true partner and help build the next global luxury maisons, the next Hermes, the next Chanel on African soil? The board is set. The move is yours.